For today's dramatic user reviews, we shall be reading the review of Red Dead Redemption 2 by Mr. Lupus. I'll start off by saying it's impossible to take game reviewers serious these days. Who are these people? A game rated 97 should be so groundbreaking and awesome, so flawless and polished, whoever made it deserves to be deified. At that rating, we're talking wonders of the world, something only the gods could do better. An event of historical proportions. And let's face it, Red Dead Redemption 2 does not deliver that quality. It's neither groundbreaking, flawless, or polished. And even though certain aspects of it does cross the border to what should be considered awesome, others again fail miserably short of even seeing that border. Graphics are stunning, world is rich on content, and the general atmosphere really sucked me in. Attention to details is almost unparalleled. The story is predictable and feels a bit forced. Some turns of events simply doesn't make sense, and the characters turn either dumb or genius according to what's convenient in furthering the storyline. And it's also quite static. All in all, it's not a very organic, nor does it allow for the player to interact with it in any profound ways. But despite not being the pinnacle of penmanship, nor deeply influenced by the player's decisions, it did entertain me. In addition to falling in love with the world itself, I also ended up becoming invested in the characters, and even sad to see them go. Rockstar is, as always, brilliant in creating the framework of a truly inspiring game. Rockstar is also, however, as always and unfortunately, mediocre at best when it comes to everything else. Gameplay suffers profoundly in this game. The controls are clumsy and bad, needlessly hard to navigate, often unresponsive, and both movement as well as combat are clunky to say the least, and also unimaginative. Something you'd expect from a game made 10 years ago, not a more recent AAA production. It lacks anything even resembling flow and also falls short in terms of user-friendliness. Gunplay is pretty much auto-aim and instant headshot. Melee is simply mashing two buttons in accordance to animation, and the mechanics for fishing actually made my hands numb. And even though the story is good enough, though not as brilliant as many would argue, the missions are unrewarding tours. In fact, the way that they're played out, you hardly get to influence them at all, as the game itself pushes you down certain paths and makes most decisions for you. They're so overly scripted, your actions and options constantly get limited to a point where you might as well put the controller on the table and simply watch a movie. Most of the time, you just follow character X through points A through Z, then either click the object he tells you to, or kill whoever he needs you to kill before rewarding you with the cutscene. It feels more like a tutorial that never ends at an actual game, and often it even dictates where you're allowed to move and at which pace, or whether you're not allowed to have your guns ready. Even your weapon set was affected. Went through a lot of trouble choosing and prepping the desired weapons pre-mission? Tough luck, as this game will revert your choices to what it wants you to use during the first cutscene, even though the weapons it forces upon you are the same type as the ones you'd prefer. This to me was my biggest nuisance, as it felt this game was treating me like an idiot. Some unwanted parasite in need of restraints. Shut up and let me get on with my awesome story, won't you? No, of course I won't let you influence. I tell it as best as it is. I'm in charge of this experience, not you. As for fishing and hunting and doing bounties, plus experiencing random world events, as well as crafting, they're actually done a good job. But like it always is with these things, they do get repetitive after a while, and it starts to feel grindy. It doesn't help either that the world is so littered with animals you could almost aim the rifle randomly and still hit something, nor that you'll catch a fish pretty much every time you throw the line in. It would have been better if wilderness encounters reaped high rewards, but were less frequent, I feel. But it's nothing game-breaking. All in all, Red Dead Redemption 2 has all the ingredients to be the epic experience most reviewers make it out to be. But it doesn't really come close in terms of execution. Gameplay is outdated and user-unfriendly. It lacks both polish and innovation. Balance is a bit off here and there, and the game fails miserably all across the line in terms of player interaction. The story and the missions are pretty much set in stone, and it refuses to equip you with a chisel. Most of the time, you're not really playing a game, merely watching events unfold the way developers intended them to, practically sidelined and incapable of influence anything at all. This game treats you more like a spectator than a participant. Overall, 7 out of 10.